putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's Kevin Jackson Show, author of Race Pimping, the multi-trillion-dollar business of liberalism, and that can be applied to many things that the left does, and you need to be aware of it. If you want to check out my book, that's great. Go to racepimping.com, but it's bigger than that. I want you to think about this. When you think of race pimping, think of anything. Think of Russia pimping. All right? Think of tax pimping. Think of healthcare pimping. That's what these people do. And my book reveals to you things that happen in the way of race that you will apply to other things, and you'll go, whoa, I could do a series of these. Like Encyclopedia Brown. I could do a healthcare pimping, tax policy pimping, foreign policy pimping, women pimping, which would be different than, other stuff. But yeah, I could write a series. I'm telling you, the pimping is outrageous going on in this country. I played a piece of the clip earlier where CNN is discussing Manafort, and they're saying that Mueller is going back, extending the scope of the investigation into Manafort, going back to 2006. What was Trump doing in 2006 that involves Russia? Anybody? Exactly nothing. Nothing. No political. He wasn't trying to get him to influence the election. We certainly know that. And CNN, they don't, it's not all but admits it. They admit it. And yet they still make this Manafort thing the discussion. And I want you to remember this name, Alinsky. Alinsky said, single somebody out, make them the scapegoat. So what are they trying to do? They think this tactic's going to work. They want to single out Manafort. No matter guilty or innocent, certainly if he's innocent, they don't care. They're going to make him the scapegoat if they can. It won't work. But they're going to make him the scapegoat. And then they're going to get the public to go, see, we told you there was Russian collusion. Yeah, but what about Donald Trump? Where's he involved? He isn't. They know it, but they'll have their scalp. That's what they're trying for. Anyway, let's play that clip.
Well, Anderson, Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigators are reaching to 2006 in a probe that centers on tax and financial crimes of Paul Manafort. It's one indication of the pressure that Mueller's team is placing on the former Trump campaign chairman, and the broad time frame shows that Mueller's team is going well beyond Russian meddling during the campaign as part of the investigation of the Trump campaign associates. As we reported yesterday, Manafort has been the subject of an investigation, of an FBI investigation for years, including wiretaps, and he has emerged as a focal point for Mueller. Manafort's spokesman, by the way, declined to comment for this story, but we should add that Manafort has denied any financial wrongdoing, Anderson.
You said financial crimes. I think you meant possible financial crimes.
Financial crimes, that's right.
Why all the way back to 2006?
Well, the period that is mentioned in this search warrant covers much of the decade that Manafort was working as a consultant for Ukraine's former ruling party. It's that work that actually prompted the interest of the FBI in Manafort. The party was accused of corruption, and the FBI was trying to figure out whether any American consultants were actually involved.
So I know you have new details about the July raid on the Manafort home.
Right. Well, the search was unusually hard-nosed. Sources tell us that it began before dawn as Manafort and his wife lay in bed. The FBI agents entered with guns drawn and insisted on searching his wife, Kathleen Manafort, for weapons, which is really a standard part of what the FBI does in these types of searches, but it's something that was jarring, no doubt, to the Manaforts.
And there's been a lot of pressure on Manafort. Is there any sense whether he's actually going to be charged?
Well, we're told that Mueller's team has warned Manafort that they're working to charge him with possible tax and financial crimes. Now, that's an indication that this investigation could be in an advanced stage. We should note that none of that is about election meddling, which is what this is supposed to be about.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. So, that clip is so revealing in so many ways. Anderson Cooper, they talk about the pressure that's being applied to Manafort. He says initially going beyond, well beyond Russian meddling. He was the subject of an FBI investigation. So no harm, no foul. Either the FBI has something or they don't. Nobody's interfering. They started the investigation in the time of Bush. So Barack Obama had 8 more years to have the DOJ look into Manafort. But then suddenly when Manafort becomes Trump's campaign manager, what happens? He goes under wiretap and additional FISA court surveillance. That's a big deal, folks. FISA court has no checks and balances. Anyway, Cooper asked, Anderson Cooper, he says, okay, whatever on all that. Why are we going back to 2006? And what I loved is the rationale. The guy goes, well, it does go back to 2006, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't give an answer other than it's expanded to go back to 2006 to look into whatever financial crimes. And I don't know whether it was going to be dropped at some point during the Obama administration or whatever. But once he connected himself to Trump, who wasn't supposed to win and who Barack Obama was going to make doggone sure didn't, once that happened, then suddenly Manafort's back under scrutiny and we're looking into him going back further. And the only thing I can think is they're trying to pressure the little drug dealer to try to get to the bigger guy kind of thing, where they say, we'll put all this pressure on you unless you tell us what we want to hear, Manafort. What was Trump doing in Russia? Okay, man, if I tell you what you want to hear, is it going to save my butt? But the problem they have is this. They no longer have the seat at the table. They no longer are in the power position, as my grandfather would say, in the hawk seat. So what are you going to do? DOJ is going to do their witch hunt. Mueller's going to come back. People, in the Trump media juggernaut that it is, if Mueller comes back with anything less than looking into Podesta and Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and all that connection, Trump is going to obliterate this man, and rightfully so. The issue right in front of our face is Russian collusion, Russian payouts, pay for play, etc. All on Hillary Clinton's side, and we're talking about this. So, long story short, Anderson Cooper doesn't get his answer, and at the end of that piece, the reporter says, yeah, well, yet again, as a rapper, none of that has anything to do with Russian meddling. So let me get this straight. None of this has anything to do with Russian meddling, and yet we're still looking into Manafort. Let's play that next CNN clip.
President Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, at this hour calling on investigators to release any intercepts of his phone calls or other communications. He says, put it out there. In a statement, Manafort's spokesman writes, Mr. Manafort requests that the Department of Justice release any intercepts involving him and any non-Americans so interested parties can come to the same conclusion as the DOJ. There is nothing there. Pamela Brown is out front in Washington tonight. And Pamela, you first broke the news that Manafort was wiretapped, and obviously his team is angry about that. And so they're saying release the records.
That's right. This is the first time that Paul Manafort is responding to our exclusive reporting that he was being surveilled by the U.S. government under a FISA warrant, under a secret court order, at least 2 times. And as you pointed out, Manafort is now calling for the Justice Department to release any intercepts, these conversations that he had involving him, to the public. He's asking DOJ to do that, claiming that there is nothing there and he wants the public to judge.
Welcome back, everybody. So a couple things happening here. It's Kevin Jackson Show for the newbies. A couple things happening. First of all, Paul Manafort is saying, I'm going to get in front of this. I'm going to do what nobody in the Hillary Clinton administration or Barack Obama administration or Hillary Clinton's team would do. Release the records. Paul Manafort's got no emails to delete. He's saying whatever intercepts you have of my dealings with Russia, or Ukraine in this case, whatever you have, go ahead and put it out there. So he's given permission to all the government agencies to do this. Now there's a trick up his sleeve. He's got a trick up his sleeve, and I'll get to that a little bit later. But the trick of this is very simple. It's a marketing thing that says, I got nothing to hide. If they come back and tell you anything, you remember, I told you you're free to release. Oh, we cannot release his records. That would be against such and such order, general order of the FAR, DAR, section 313, paragraph 6, subsection C, whatever. But Manafort said, fine, but I'm okay with it. That should give you plenty. Oh, well, the government has a lot that we can't have. Oh, so you don't want to release your part. I got it. Brilliant marketing, brilliant, and it's a strategy of an innocent person. I don't know why Manafort's under investigation. I don't. I know this. Hillary Clinton, Podesta, Barack Obama, John Kerry, Bill Clinton, Chelsea Clinton, all of them are more guilty in a day than the average conservative is in a lifetime. That's what I know. And I think it's sickening that we keep going over the same stuff.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.